Plant tissues. What is the basic unit of life? Cell. What is a group of similar cells doing one function called? Tissue. Name the tissue that helps plants grow. Meristematic tissue. Which meristem increases the length of roots and shoots? Apical meristem. Which meristem increases the thickness, girth, of the stem? Lateral meristem. Which meristem helps grasses regrow after cutting? Intercalary meristem. Where is the apical meristem located? At root and shoot tips. What do we call the rings seen on a cut tree trunk? Annual rings. What can we find by counting annual rings? Age of the tree. What is the point on a stem where leaves arise called? Node. What is the region between two nodes called? Internode. What is the process of forming permanent tissue from meristem called? Differentiation. Which tissue forms the outermost protective layer of a plant? Epidermis. What is the waxy layer on the epidermis called? Cuticle. Which pores in leaves help in gaseous exchange? Stomata. What are the hair-like projections of root epidermis called? Root hair. What is the loss of water vapor from plants called? Transpiration. Which simple tissue mainly stores food? Parenchyma. Which tissue gives flexible support to young stems? Collenchyma. Which tissue gives hard, rigid support and is mostly dead? Sclerenchyma. Which substance hardens sclerenchyma walls? Lignin. Which substance gives flexibility to collenchyma? Pectin. Which tissue carries water and minerals in plants? Xylem. Which tissue carries food in plants? Phloem. Which is the only living part of xylem? Xylem parenchyma. What are the food-conducting tubes of phloem called? Sieve tubes. Which cells control the sieve tubes? Companion cells. Name a complex permanent tissue. Xylem or phloem. How many tissue systems are there in plants? 3. Which tissue system forms the outer covering of a plant? Dermal tissue system. Animal tissues. How many types of animal tissues are there? 4. Which tissue covers the body and lines organs? Epithelial tissue. Which tissue connects and supports other tissues? Connective tissue. Which tissue helps in movement? Muscular tissue. Which tissue controls and coordinates the body? Nervous tissue. Name a fluid connective tissue. Blood. What gives blood its red color? Hemoglobin. Which blood cells carry oxygen? RBCs. Which blood cells fight infection? WBCs. Which blood cells help in clotting? Platelets. Which connective tissue is hard and rigid? Bone. Which connective tissue is soft and cushions bones? Cartilage. What connects muscle to bone? Tendon. What connects bone to bone? Ligament. Which muscle is under our conscious control? Skeletal muscle. Which muscle is found only in the heart? Cardiac muscle. Which muscle is spindle-shaped and involuntary? Smooth muscle. What are the cells of nervous tissue called? Neurons. Systems, joints, and enrichment. Which joint allows the head to turn side to side? Pivot joint. What is the ability of a single cell to form a whole plant called? Totipotency.